Welcome to the Yo Yarngirl podcast. My name is Lisa and I'm coming to you from Denver, Colorado.
Normally I upload every 2 weeks. This episode has taken a little bit longer to be uploaded. I've just had life going on and just have not been able to sit down and get an episode completely recorded. So I waited. I attempted a couple of times and got interrupted and just decided that I would wait until I had more time to sit down and podcast. That being said, I don't have any finished objects for you today, but I do have lots of WIPS going on, and I have a couple of hose, which would be my half finished objects. So let's go ahead and just jump in and get started. I'm just drinking a cup of coffee today, and I've got this in my Yarngirl's knitting juice cup. This was actually designed for me by Knit Swag over on Etsy, and I will have linked below a coupon code for you that you can use through the end of April on her Etsy shop to receive 15% off any of her cups that she has in her shop. So let's go ahead and get started. My first half object is a pair of Shorty Socks, and these Shorty Socks are done on some of you probably recognize this is the colorway from last year's summer sock camp that Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady hosts. And this was a colorway that Amanda of Mandy's Makings did for that camp. And then I just grabbed a yellow skein of, this is, I'm gonna say Twinkle, but it's not Twinkle. It's a sparkle base that I got in a Knit Crate. I used to subscribe to Knit Crate, and I just grabbed this for a little bit of sparkle. There was just a plain yellow mini that Amanda included with her skein of the summer sock camp color, and I did a pair out of that colorway that I actually gifted to my sister, and I just grabbed the sparkle base from the Knit Crate subscription skein that I got, and I put it with this. But really like these. I will finish the other one hopefully here within the next couple of weeks, and I will have a finished pair of Shorty Socks that I'll be able to start wearing since we are going into our warmer weather here. So that's that. And I think, well, not all, but yes, another half object is this. It's another pair of Shorty Socks, and this is done in, and these are all just vanilla. It's just a vanilla sock pattern. I obviously did not make a full leg, so I just did the shorties. This one I think I did, I don't know, 5 or 6 repeats before I went into the heel. And this is just a shadow wrap heel that I use from Earth Tone Girls, her sock pattern. I have that sock pattern, Denise of Earth Tone Girls, and so that's the shadow wrap heel that I've been using on a lot of my socks. This colorway is actually a Miss Babs colorway. I do have this much left. It's a DK weight. This is on her Yowza base, and it's called Autumn Toad Lily is the colorway, and this is actually a 2020 colorway from the SAF, which is the Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair. I ordered that colorway, and I really, really love the colors because those are purples and the deep wines, which is my jam. So I was really hoping to get another skein of that, and it is sold out. But I do know that you can email her occasionally on some of those colorways, and she will dye up that colorway for you. So I'm gonna probably reach out to her and see if I can get that in a fingering weight. But really, really like the color, and the heel and toe area, I did use a little bit of that color just on the tippy tip, is just it's a mini also by Miss Babs, and it's like a wine color, but I just grabbed that and threw that in for the heels and the toe. So another half finished object here is just a pair of Scrappy Socks, and I use the Autumn Acorn sock pattern for this, which she has a ribbed heel. which is really good if you're gifting socks and you're not really sure on the heel placement and things like that. This is actually a really good heel to use because it grows and stretches with the individual that you're gifting the socks to. But these are just random minis that I had in my stash. I think the majority of them are like the top here, these colors here, I believe are from Ruby and Roses. So those are some colorways from her that I probably got, a couple years ago. And then I also have some random minis in here from a chick that knits. I often order, she has a really, really big selection of minis. And so I order minis from time to time from her. And I had also received her advent back in 2020. I received her advent. So this is probably some of those colors from her advent. But that's my last half finished object. And I do have the mate to this one almost done. So I will finish that off, and my daughter actually wants these. So I'm gonna give these to my daughter, and she will be able to have those to lounge around the house in. So, all right, moving right along into some other WIPs. I did start a test knit for Amanda of Mandy's Makings is coming out with a shawl, and it's called No Place Like Home Shawl. And it actually went with it was a collab that she had with a skein of yarn that she did, and it all plays upon the Wizard of Oz, I believe. So that I didn't end up getting the skein of yarn, but I saw that she was looking for some folks to test knit. And I was like, oh my goodness, because I don't have anything else cast on the needles, let me test knit. So I reached out to her, and I order lots of yarn from her, and we kind of have a Instagram relationship. So, you know, I often, like I said, message her and post a lot of stuff with a lot of her share pairs, because I do get a lot of her share pairs, and I got her holiday share pair box, and there was another one that I just got, and then of course there's that Paradise box that I probably will order. But this is so far what I have in that shawl. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful pattern, I think. So basically you are holding fingering weight double. So I am using my full skein. I also subscribe to Destination Lane's yarn and bag. So I got my Destination Lane's yarn in, because this month April was a yarn month. So this is the colorway for April, and it is called Cape Town, South Africa. Beautiful, beautiful blues with some pops of green and purple, and really lavender, kind of light purple. But I'm holding that double with just some random minis. Really, really liking the way that is knitting up. So the minis are, quite a few of these minis are from A Girl in Her Wool. I also use some from Craftily Designs, and she is a local to me dyer. She's out of Colorado Springs. I order a lot of minis and full skeins, actually, or half skeins from her. So that a lot of this is, these are hers. And like I said, I have A Girl in Her Wool in here. And then I think I have a couple of a chick that knits that I will also be putting in here. But I hope to make some really good progress on this over the weekend, and I can send her my finished shawl. I think she's looking for it to be completed by May 4th, which I'll definitely meet that deadline without a problem. And I am going to cast on a second one, which I told her about. I asked her, I said, is anyone casting this on with mohair? So I am going to hold a fingering and a mohair double and just see how that knits up. I think that's going to knit up really, really nice. And so I will have two, but I didn't want to cast it on right now because I have so many things on the needles that I decided I would wait and finish this one. And that's the back. And then I will cast on another one using mohair and fingering weight held double. And like I said, I think that's going to turn out really, really pretty. I really, really am anxious to get that on the needles, but I'm holding back. So I won't even skein up my mohair that I have because I just know me and it's like squirrel, squirrel, and I'll start wanting to knit on that. So when I've got so many things that I need to get off the needles. So I'm gonna hold off putting that on the needles, but Mandy, that's coming, and I will definitely be showing my progress and sharing pictures of that over on my Yarngirl 67 Instagram account. So, and moving on, I have another WIP here that is, this is a knit along that actually I'm doing with Nitty Natty, Natalie from Nitty Natty. She decided to do a shawl knit along, and she's featuring a designer that I forget exactly what her criteria was, but I know it was patterns that maybe had less than 50 sales or something with a pattern, but it was a number with the pattern. And she chose, it's Christy Archer Designs, and this is called the Outstranding Shawl. And I haven't made a ton of progress, but I will pop a picture in of the actual shawl, but it's a really, really pretty shawl. It will have a little bit of color work in it, and it's super simple. It's just really putting some stripes in for the color work. I think there's 6 or 7 stripes of the color work, and then the border is a separate color. And I'm using a Lolo Did It. This is her Wild Horses, I believe is the name of this. Yeah, Wild Horses is the name of this colorway. And then I'm going to pair, the border is going to be a color from Yarn Cafe Creations and in the colorway Fig. And this will be my border. And the strands of color that go through it right now, this is another Lolo Did It, just a mini. I'm probably going to use this that will go with the Fig and pair with the Wild Horses nicely. I'm not sure on this pink, but I'm still kind of working out what other colors I want to have in there. I'll probably use some sort of a brown color. I do have a mini that I kind of like. And that's the thing, this is a shawl that you can use up some of your scraps for the color, and you can really do a lot of different things with it. So I liked that idea, and that was what kind of made me decide to cast this on. This runs from March, it started at March 15th and goes through, looking at my notes, sorry guys. I want to say it goes through May. I want to say it goes through May, and this actually started in April, I'm sorry, but it goes through May. So we will, I'll definitely finish this one because this is really, there is a 4-row repeat in this part of the, I think the whole thing, the 4-row repeat continues throughout, but it's definitely not hard to memorize. And so I can kind of watch TV and do this one. I do usually have the pattern next to me, so I can kind of just glance over at it if I'm lost my place, or, you know, I'm watching something that it's like, oh, okay. But definitely not a hard repeat at all. So I will have that finished by the deadline for sure. So moving right along. I decided probably, I don't know, I think it was yesterday, maybe day before, to cast on a pair of Scrappy Socks. I had a different pair cast on and I wasn't happy with them, so I frogged them. And I cast on a different pair for the Rose Opal Knits, has a Scrappy Sock MKAL going on, because I think you can do crochet, I think it's anything, so it's a MKAL. You can crochet or knit, and that runs March 15th through May 15th. And so I decided to cast on this sock here using a full skein, and this pink is a, it's also a skein that I got in one of my Knit Crate subscriptions. I don't have the ball band for it anymore, so I don't know the color. I want to say it was bubblegum that for whatever reason's coming to mind. And then I've used some random minis. The blue color, which I can't, I guess you can, it's kind of blowing out. But this here is blue. And this purple stripe is from a chick that knits. It's a mini from a chick that knits. My cuff is done in a colorway, a one-of-a-kind colorway from Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool. And I will also do my heel in this same colorway. And I'm also putting in a couple of stripes in that A Girl and Her Wool one-of-a-kind. So basically, I'm just kind of making this up as I go along on this sock. And I'm doing 6 rows of the pink. My first stripe is 3 rows, and then the second stripe is 4 rows. And then I go on to another 6 rows of the main color, 3 rows of the mini, the contrast here, the mini that I'm putting in, and then another 6 rows, the 4 stripes, 6 rows, and then I go on. And I think this is gonna be the last stripe that I do, and I'm just gonna finish it out in the pink color until I get to the foot, and then I'll decide if I'm gonna do anything on the foot. I might not do anything at all on the foot and just keep it all plain and get to the toe and decide to maybe do some stripes around the toe. But super simple, it's just a vanilla sock, and I am doing this on 9-inch circulars. These are Chalgu lace twist, and they're interchangeable, and it's a size 2.25 millimeter US 1 on this needle size. So, and the blue actually is a full skein that I have, and that is from Brazen Stitchery. Also has a shop on Etsy. And so this was just a blue skein of yarn that I think I got as my full skein in her advent for 2020, because I did get her advent for 2020. And I think that was one of the full skeins that came with her advent. And so I've had it and I've used it for heels and another pair of socks. And so I decided to put some stripes in here. And I might use that for the toe in these and use the A Girl in Her Wool just for the heel, and then for the toe I'll finish it out with this blue to get some of that. But I really, really like the way this is knitting up, and can't wait to wear those. So, okay. And I have another pair of socks. That is a WIP, and I showed these on my last podcast, I believe, but I've made a little bit of progress, and this is a toe-up sock. I'm using a pattern by Stacy, Very Pink Knits. This is, she had a sock series that she had out with heels and toes, different heels and toes, and this was her, basically it is actually a pinhole type cast on, similar to the muscle burl that everyone is knitting, that I've knit a couple of, but had struggled with the cast on for the muscle burl. And for whatever reason, when I watched her tutorial for this sock, which I watched her tutorial for the muscle burl, it just made sense. And I was able to cast on. I mean, it's fiddly, no matter how, I think it's fiddly for everybody, no matter how much you knit. That pinhole cast on's a little bit fiddly, but just doing a plain vanilla after that. I did a heel flap and gusset for the heel, and I'm actually still on the decreases for the heel, and hope to have this done by the next podcast, and the other one definitely cast on, maybe done as well. Don't know if I'm going to go all the way up and make a long leg. I may just make these kind of a shorty sock as well, because we're going into the summer. And this yarn is from Craftly Designs, from the local to me dyer out of Colorado Springs. And this was a colorway. It was like a July 4th type colorway. It's called Let Freedom Ring. And I've had it in my stash. So I am trying to work through stash yarn. So I've had this in my stash for a while. And this was sold as a sock set. And this is actually the mini that came with that sock set. So, but Let Freedom Ring, and like I said, that's from Craftly Designs, local to me dyer. So, and I think that is it for my sock WIPs, but I now will move on to a couple of other WIPs that I have. One is my sweater, my Falling Stars sweater, and this is by Expression Fiber Arts. And I have shown this before, but I am now down at the waistband So I will hopefully have this finished up today and cast off the waistband, and then I will start into my sleeves. But I'm very close to getting this off the needles for the body. And I did start my sleeve here, and don't mind, I've got some little holes. I'm really struggling with picking up the stitches here, so I'm gonna have to go back and repair that. But I did start the sleeve, and if anyone has any suggestions on how to maybe avoid those holes, please comment below. I'd love to hear that. And hopefully on my next one, I can avoid what I got there. So, and I'm hoping, I have a little bit of puckering going on. I'm hoping that that will block out. I did do a steam block on part of it, which I mentioned in my last pod when I showed this last, and it did seemingly smooth it out a little bit. So I'm hoping that it will smooth out even more when I fully block it. But like I said, that sleeve, this is gonna annoy me. I'm gonna have to try and find a way to fix that. So, but that's just part of it, I guess. So good news is it can probably be fixed. So, but I hope to have this off the needles. And of course, we're going into 70 and 80 degree weather here in Colorado. So I won't be wearing it anytime soon, but that'll give me time to get it fixed and blocked and, or finished and blocked and ready for our cooler weather. So there you go. And because I don't have enough WIPS on the go, Lisa cast on another top. So this top is, and I think this is just it's a Lion brand pattern. And it's just called the Basic Tee. It's Back to Basics Knit Tee. And I had some cotton yarn in my stash, and I've been wanting to use it. So 24/7 cotton by Lion brand. So I cast this on. And it's in a colorway, obviously, that I like. It's in my purple family. So it's not, I don't have much progress on it, but I will maybe pop a picture in. But it's called Back to Basics Knit Tee. It starts out with a garter stitch border, and it's pretty much just stockinette stitch. So I use this at night when David and I are watching TV. I can sit there and knit on this and still, and you know, don't have to really worry about paying much attention to it. And hopefully I will have a cotton tee for the summer that I will be able to wear. But really love the way it's knitting, the color is knitting up anyways. And I'm thinking about maybe putting a couple of thin stripes in it in the top, just because I have another ball of this yarn in the succulent colorway, which is kind of like it's not a teal green. Well, I guess it is kind of a tealy green. So I'm thinking about maybe putting just a couple of random stripes throughout. So I'm trying to figure out where I'll put that in based on the measurement of the actual garment, so that it will kind of look even, because I like the even stuff. So I would like it to be a little bit even. So I'm gonna decide whether or not I want to measure that and put a thin stripe in there. But probably like 5 rows is all I'll do on the stripe, just to have a thin stripe, but it'll just give it a little bit of added pizzazz, I guess. But this colorway is Lilac, and it's, like I said, it's 24/7, and that's probably backwards for you guys, 24/7 cotton by Lion brand. So liking that. And I think that is all of my WIPs. So we are gonna move on to acquisitions, which I have a lot of. So I'm trying to use stash, but there are a couple of sweaters that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna be taking part in the Jana from Purl Together. She is doing a knit along. I know it won't start until, I believe we're not even gonna do swatching until like May 17th. I'm swatching now because I wanna make sure that I get gauge, and I may have to play around with my needles and yarn. I'm an extremely tight knitter, and the pattern that we're doing is by Heidi Kermeyer. It's called After the Rain. Beautiful, beautiful sweater. It's a striped sweater. You can do it any way you like, though. You don't have to stripe it, which is nice. If you want to just do a plain sweater, or if you want to do multiple different colors of stripes, you can do that. It's a DK weight sweater. I'm actually gonna cast on 2, and because why not? So I ordered some yarn from Knit Crate for one that I'm gonna do, that I may end up doing that one for my daughter. I don't know, but I am gonna cast on 2. But the main one that I'm gonna be focusing on, and that will definitely be for me, is A Girl in Her Wool. So I've already ordered it. I thought actually it would already be here, but it's not. I actually also have a subscription from A Girl in Her Wool, and she may be sending it all together, which is fine, because the MKAL doesn't start for a while. So I've got plenty of time, and I've got lots of other stuff to keep me busy that I really need to get off the needles. But that being said, I have ordered yarn for very specific sweaters that I'm making that will be for, again, the fall and winter of next year. So the first yarn that I ordered for this MKAL, which I promptly ordered as soon as Jana came on with and announced the MKAL, I went out and ordered my yarn, and this is from Knit Crate. So this will be the main color, and this is Vitellana Oasis. It's a 50% alpaca, 25% Peruvian Highland merino wool blend, and 25% Surrey alpaca. It's a DK weight. So I'm not sure actually how this is gonna knit up. And then I got and this colorway is, where is the colorway in Knit Crate? And maybe Oasis is, no, that's the actual, it's Nevada, I'm sorry. Nevada is the colorway. And then I got this color, same base, and this colorway is called Casablanca. And I think that's what I mean, I don't know, the name just kind of drew me to it, but I'm gonna swatch actually today for this one, just to see if I can get gauge in a reasonable size needle, because I did have another skein of DK weight in the A Girl in Her Wool, same base that I'm gonna be using for the sweater, and it looks like I'm gonna have to go up quite a few needle sizes. So again, if there's anyone out there that is, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a gauger by rule. But if there is somebody out there that can maybe share some tips with me on just getting gauge and being a tight knitter, and does it seem right to have to go up 3 to 4 needle sizes to get gauge? That just seems excessive to me. I mean, I'm sure it's probably, I guess that's okay, but I would, if somebody can give me some suggestions, or just say, yes, Lisa, that could be what happens, please let me know in the comments below, because I don't want to obviously cast on and either have something that's going to look way too big, sloppy, ooh, or something that's going to be way too tight, ooh, again. So, and wah, because I'll be very upset that I've, spent all this time in a sweater and it doesn't fit me. I will tell you, in my Falling Stars sweater, I did not gauge swatch for that sweater, but I have tried it on several times and it does fit me perfectly. And I use the actual needles that it called for. So I don't know if different yarns, which probably is the case, maybe reacts differently with my gauge. But like I said, I do have a tendency to be a very tight knitter. So there you have it. So the other sweater that I'm gonna cast on, and I think Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, she already has one cast on, is by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits, and it's the basic, it's her basic raglan, but I think Kay is actually using the same color. This is Wool of the Andes Sport Weight in Claret Heather, and it's kind of a purpley color here, a heather color, and I'm going to cast on that sweater in this one. So I ordered this from Knit Picks, and it was specific to that. So those are the 2 yarns that I have coming in, very specific to something that I'm casting on. Same with the A Girl in Her Wool that I'll get. It's for something specific. And then Knit Picks had this on sale. It's their static, fingering weight static. And this is Hope Chest. And I just ordered this because it was on sale, and I'm gonna use this to make some either socks, or there's a pair of sweatpants. There's a pattern out there by Knititude, and I might use this to cast that on. So we'll see. But those are my Yarny acquisitions. I did receive my Yarnable for the month of April. And if you have not looked at yours, I would assume by now everyone has. But it's Yarnable, it's by Hypnotic Yarns, and this is called Mermazing. Yeah, I believe it's Mermazing, and it's on her plush sock base. It's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 437 yards for 100 grams. And there's these beautiful blues and purples and green colors, and I think I'm gonna use this for some socks. It's kind of funny because my destination yarn is kind of the same color palette as this, which, you know, the purples obviously are my jam, but I really kind of like the way the purple plays with these other colors. And so I'm debating whether or not this should be a muscle burl or if I should do some socks. So might do some socks. So, and I think that is it for everything that I have today for yarny stuff. So let's just go on to life. And work's been really, really busy. I don't know if any of you watch Knit Ink podcast, but if not, go over and check that out. It's a mother-daughter, Petra and Natasha. And she actually put a picture in of she and I. I actually was able to meet her. She came through Denver. She was on a ski trip and had met up with some old friends. And I saw her in line. She had to do some stuff, and she needed help with one of my agents. And I was out actually just doing some mentoring on the floor. And I saw her and I was like, I know her, I know her, I know her. Let me listen to the voice. And I heard her voice because at that point we were still required to wear masks in the airport. That has been removed as of a few days ago. So yay for that. And as soon as she started to talk, I just went up to her and said, oh my gosh, Petra. So it was kind of a neat moment, but we sat there and talked for a little bit. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. Have watched she and her daughter's podcast. Pretty much every time they upload, I'm watching their podcast. So that was a really neat moment for me. And so yeah, so I got to meet her, so that was good. So check them out, Knit Ink. But I also wanted to mention some other podcasts. And there's kind of a, you know, some of us podcasters are mentioning other podcasters that are either just getting started, don't have a huge following yet or subscriber base, to go and check out their podcasts and like and subscribe if you like what you see. So one I just actually watched this morning is Jules Knits for Bama, and she's on episode 5 that she just uploaded today. And then Origin Threadcrafts, she's another one that I'm watching, and she has a great podcast, has lots of stuff to share. And then Soxy Nana, and she's out of Winnipeg, Canada, and she has one, and she uploads quite often too. And enjoying all of those podcasts so far. So I will continue to mention podcasts that I'm watching. Feel free to mention down below in the comments podcasts that maybe you're watching that maybe have under 500 subscribers. And I'll go check them out. And again, hopefully like and subscribe on their YouTube channel and bring them some traffic. So I think really for now, that's kind of it for me. I do have some new things coming for Yo Yarngirl, and I think I mentioned in episode 3. I am looking to hopefully maybe start a little bit of a shop with some goods in there. Some bags will be one thing that will be coming. And I'm working on logo designs and things like that, but I am looking at putting some bags out there, and these will just be some project bags with drawstring. I like drawstring and snaps just because it doesn't get caught in the zipper. I use zipper bags, but the drawstring bags are something that I really like. It will have 2 pockets on the inside, so you'll be able to put stuff on the inside. But yeah, be looking for these to possibly be listed soon. So until next time, guys, happy knitting!